Assalamu alaikum. Midnight Mischief Master, Video 4, Team members Nehal, Ibad, and Bilal. So we have firstly changed our main screen, and now instead of working with enter key, it's working with the mouse button. And currently we have two modes, start and controls. If you go into controls, it's showing how can the player play the game, and we can go back with the escape key. Moving on to the main game, if we press start, so we can move in the main game. And here, what we have displayed is the collectibles, and when a player moves towards the collectibles, it disappears and score is also increased. And that is a implementation of pause. The game is paused, the player won't be moving.
So looking at the code, the first thing that we did was we made a class for collision because we are using that function a lot. We will be using that function as well for the enemy. So here is the HP file. It's just one function that's a static because it will be used for all the classes that have inherited. And all this is doing is getting two SCL rects, two mover rects, and it will show true or false based on if they have collided or not. And then this function we have used, and this is our collectibles file. This is the main collectible. And then we have a specific derived class paper one, which is what we were showing right now. And these are all the mover rects for it. And then this we are putting in the main game. In the constructor, there is a list, which is a private list of all the collectibles. And then right for now, in the constructor, we're just pushing back 5 paper one on random positions so that the player can go and fetch them. In the draw, we have the element that's being drawn within a loop. And then in animating, we are again using a loop. And for collisions,
Right. So the concept of collisions is that we have two types of collisions. There's collisions between the players, and there's collisions between the player and the collectible. So for now, we don't really have an implementation for collisions between players because that doesn't really matter. However, if there is a collision between the either player and the collectible, then as I'll show you, as you can see over here, right? So if there's a collision between element, which is a pointer to one of our collectibles, and either player, so there's one of our players is enabled by the character pointer called 2, and then another's called by the character pointer 1. If there's a collision between either of them, then we'll increment the score counter. And for that certain element inside the iteration, inside the loop, we'll set the collected flag to true. After that, we check whether that specific element in the iteration has been collected or not. And if it has been collected, we effectively are just removing it from the vector, right? Because we don't want the same collectible to stay on the screen after having collected it. Right, so that's how we deal with collisions. And another change we've made is showing the score, as you might have seen during Bilal's demonstration of the game. So over here, we have two functions really, one to show the score and one to show the text before the score, which effectively said papers collected. Right, so over here, we've initialized the true text font object. We've given a setup pointer. We've set the font to arial.ttf and the font size is 24. And 000 indicates the color and RGB values that translates to black. And what we will be displaying is score, which is an integer. Yes, it is a private integer in our class. And now the thing is that the function really takes in string, but because score is fundamentally an integer, we need to be able to convert it into a string. So we've used casting over here. Right. Then we render it. We create a message object. This is part of the documentation that was offered for drawing text onto the screen. Well, this indicates the position really. So this is the same as this is your SDL rectangle, which contains the X. The X is 944 over here. The Y is 12. The width of the score is 50 and the height is 30. Right. So we draw the thing, and as part of effective memory management, we're also freeing the surface. We're getting rid of the texture, we're destroying it so that there aren't memory leaks. And we're also closing the font or quitting, right? So all in all, This is meant to display the score and the text that comes before the score. We hope this was a very comprehensive demonstration of the code so far, and we hope you enjoyed the final project. Thank you.
Lafis.